My name is Andrew Kramer. I am actually an Ohio native. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and pretty much my entire passion for my whole life is becoming an archaeologist in the state of Ohio because primarily Ohio, among the wonderful 50 states that we have, offers one of the richest archaeological histories of any state. We have the most earthen mounds. We have well over 3,000 or 4,000 sites. So essentially Ohio's prehistory is still here and it's very rich. And we're really just kind of waiting for the people to come in and tap into that history and figure it out. I chose to come to Kent State because of two reasons primarily. One, Kent State University offers the largest collection of archaeological materials in northern Ohio. I also chose to come here because our collections span roughly 12,000 years of history. So depending on what time period you're looking at, whether it be the Paleo period all the way up to the late woodland, we have stuff here that you can look at. And there are tons of materials, and we have ceramics and lithics and pretty much everything that an archaeologist could ever want for research. And the staff is also extremely supportive. They push you to come up with good research questions, good testable hypotheses that you can use in order to present at professional conferences, write publications. As a matter of fact, I toured roughly a dozen graduate programs before I decided to come here, and I saw no other program that was as supportive and had as much resources available to the students as Kent State University. So if you want to be an Ohio archaeologist, or if you want to be an Eastern Woodlands archaeologist, period, here is the place to go. So for my research, I work on paleodietary reconstructions. I basically take dental calculus, which is a hardened plaque that forms on teeth, and I dissolve it using very low-grade acid, and then once the dissolving process is done, you can actually start to identify different pollen grains, starch grains, plant fibers, and these things called phytoliths, which are little silicate bodies that the plants produce that are specific to the plant. So essentially by garnering these multiple lines of evidence, we can effectively reconstruct the diet of a group of people that lived 10,000 years ago. And essentially, dietary reconstructions offer us not only clues as to what people were eating before they died, but it also gives us clues as to how those people are settling, how those people were exploiting their local environments, and what particular resources were available at that particular time period. Now, as you can see, I use my wonderful polarized light microscope here, and what I do is I have all of my microscope slides, and I put them under the viewer here, and I use what we call a polarizing lens, and I put the polarizing lens on there, and then I kind of take a view into there, always coming into focus, and then I can start to pick out different plant fibers and different pieces of pollen that were locked inside of these people's teeth right before they died. So essentially, it's very interesting. It kind of gives us a glimpse into how these people were living, 600, 700, 800 years ago. The group that I work on specifically is about 1,000 years old. So they're not, super ancient, but they're just old enough to be right about about 500 years before Europeans came to the United States.